Welcome to JFix, and in this video we're going to be looking at this soldering station that I've just had delivered, and this is my first ever soldering station of this kind of type, and it's not going to be a review, more of a kind of show and tell and having a little go. Never used something like this before, so we'll have a little bit of a look at it and have an experiment playing with it as well. So the model I've gone for is AIXUN T420D dual channel soldering station, and it's compatible with various handles, the T210, the T245 and the T115, which I think are equivalent to the JBC type handles. Now this soldering station is sold in various options, and you can choose which handles. You can get all three. However, on the back here there's only connection points for two of them. So I've gone and I've chosen the handle here, which is the T245. I think that's the biggest one. And I've also chosen the smallest one, which is the T115. So the back of this unit here, so you've got the two ports in here to connect the stands and the power input and the ground in point. There is also a USB at the top here for doing updates. Let me show you these accessories, and I'm going to get it plugged in and we'll have a little play. Right, these are the two stands you get. They're both almost identical, except for that one's got a slot that side and that side, so you can attach it to the station if you wish. And the only difference is this one's got a sponge in here, and this one's got the metal for cleaning the tips. So it's nice that you've got both options. The sponge seems quite recessed into that hole down there. These go up and down, so you can kind of adjust them to the angle wherever you've got your station. And you've also got these style stands that I think they connect onto the side and allow you to have some cable management and also a little hanger. I'm not sure what the benefit of hanging your soldering iron in there as opposed to having it in there, but you've got both options. The body on this is all plastic, so that's probably one downside to this. You could easily probably melt that, but the outside of here where you're going to clean it is all rubber lined on both of these, so that's protected. So yeah, it's just something to be aware of, that you have to be careful not to touch the side of this with the iron. You've got here for removing your soldering iron bits, and also some additional storage in there. So I think this is like a quick release. I'll have an experiment with that. Let's see how these attach into the station. These literally just slide in like that. One, and the other side. There, they're in. That's dead easy, and they're just locked in place like that. And if we turn it around, they simply connect in there with these type connectors. And you've got the additional connectors on either side to connect the soldering irons themselves. But you've got quite a long lead on there, so if you want the base station somewhere else, which I'll probably put that up on a shelf higher up and then have these next to my work area. I'll get these plugged in now, and let's have a look at the actual tips that I've got. Okay, these stations are all connected. Just going to peel off this on the screen, which is always satisfying. Right, and we've got power into it. I'm going to flick the power switch on the back, and it's booting up. Okay, and it's saying no tools, cartridges needed, which I haven't actually got them connected. So let's have a look at the soldering irons and the cartridges that you get with them. Here is a closer look at the two handles that I've got. So I've got the largest one, which is the T245, and the smallest one, which is the T115. With both of these cartridges, for the big one, you get two of these rubbers, and for the smaller one, you get two of the smaller rubbers. So I'll fit them on in a second or two. But as I say, this station, you can have two in there. And my thinking is that I'll go with the smallest and the largest one, because that will give me the biggest range of things. If it was just a single soldering station, I'd probably say go with the middle handle, kind of a do it all handle. But I'm guessing that the biggest one will give us the most heat transfer on there, and this one will be really good for the very small, fine micro soldering tasks. I think that will cover most, having those two handles. Just have a go putting these foam grips on then, see what they look like. Okay, we're all foamed up now. That wasn't too difficult to get on. A little bit of persuasion, but quite easy, and I think that feels a lot better now with those foam grips. That's going to be nice to work on. The same with that one, and that will insulate it, I think, from any heat going up the handle, because I guess it gets quite hot after working with them. Let's have a look at the included cartridges that you get for the various handles here. So the larger ones obviously for the T245, and these smaller ones are for the T115. Let's do the smaller ones first. Put those out the way. So yeah, you've got three of these here, and they come in quite nice packaging actually. Break the seal on there. It's not a nice rubberized packaging. So let's just take them out. Okay, and let's have a look at these. So we've got, first of all, a very small chisel tip. We've got this bent style tip, and lastly we've got this pointed one. I think these two are probably going to be the go-to ones. I think with the chisel tip there, that will probably provide more heat transfer, and this bent tip will be quite good for getting into those really small places. Let's have a look how they attach. Literally just, there we go, slot in. Nice and easy to change. Yeah, and there's a little groove on there. Marks the point where it won't go any further. Let's look at the T245. Let's open these up. Again, packaging feels really nice quality. And we've got the same tips, I think, here, obviously much larger. There's your little bent head on there. Let's see how that goes in. Okay, so it's got a little line on here that marks the point that meets the tip there. Okay, let's have a look at the other two. I'm assuming they're the same as the 115. Yeah, so got the pointed tip on there. So I don't know if that's called a conical tip. And lastly, I'm assuming this will be a knife one. Yeah, that looks nice. And I think the advantage with these style of tips, the cartridge tips, is that the heater element is in the cartridge itself, I believe, rather than the heating element being there, and then you're going to have some kind of loss as it travels down the tip. But the heating element's actually in the end of the tip. And let's have a look at the station and how we can use the quick release to change these nozzles when they're hot. One thing that I did get included in the package, and I wasn't quite sure what this was actually for, but it's if you're using these away from the station, which I think I'm going to do, you can slide that in there, and the same on this side, and you can lock those in place and use them like that. I think that's the way I'm going to have it set up on my desk. Okay, looking at the back of the station here, these are all 7-pin connectors, and these are the ones that connect to the station, 7-pin connector, so that one goes in there, and the next one for this station is another 7-pin connector, it goes in there, and then you've got 2 more 7-pin connectors to connect your soldering iron. Now, the larger one has the 7-pin connector, goes in there no problem. The problem is when I come to use the 115 handle, for some reason that one's only a 6-pin connector, not a 7-pin connector. So there's no way that will fit in there. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously that's probably to differentiate it on there, so maybe it provides less power on these smaller tips. But yeah, I'm not sure. Why do I need an adapter, or is this base station wrong? Because this isn't going to fit. But I'm assuming the actual connector is right, and it's supposed to be a 6-pin for the smaller one. And maybe they've sent me the wrong model here with the wrong connector. I'm going to maybe contact them, do a bit of research, and find out what I need to do. And then once I've got a bit of resolution, I'll come back to this video. I'm now back on looking at this issue with the connector here, the 6-pin connector with the 7 pins in here that won't fit. Now, I reached out to AIXUN and they acknowledged, yes, we've sent you the wrong handle, and that's what they believed what the issue was. And yeah, they seem to understand, and they've sent me a package here which I've received, and I've already opened this. This is the new handle that they've sent me, and looking at the one, it's exactly the same as this one with 6 pins as well, not 7 pins. So yeah, I don't know what to do now. Obviously, maybe they just don't make a 7-pin, and this station is incorrect. I think what I'm going to do is have a look. I've already looked online, to be honest, and I can't find any pinout for this. So what I'm going to do now is have a look. It goes here, so the pin in question is this one here. I'm just going to measure that with a multimeter and see if there is any voltage on this pin and if it's actually required or not. Alright, I've got the station on, and just trying to try ground up here and see if there's anything on any of these pins. So that pin I've got nothing on. Let's see if I can get steady enough. So this pin here, it's moving around. There's something on there. Nothing on there. Nothing on there. Nothing on there. Nothing. Nothing. So it looks like it's this pin. there's 3 volts on there, and if I look at the station, it's in the mode here where it just says no tool connected. So this pin here at the bottom must be a 3 volts, and it's only going to activate any of these other pins once it knows there's something connected to the station and there's no voltage on these. So I don't really know. I've got no way of telling what this pin does, but in my mind I'm thinking, let's try and take this station here apart and maybe see if I can remove this pin, connect the connector with the 6 pins onto here, and we'll see if that works and if it's required or not. Let's see how easy this is to dismantle. I can't see, looking around, that there's any obvious screws to open this, so I'm assuming they're probably under these rubber feet, unfortunately. Let's see if I can get these feet off. Right. Fortunately, there doesn't seem to be anything under there. I'm assuming if there's not one under there, then there won't be any under the other ones. Let's back on. So does it just prise apart? Okay, I've managed to get into it. The base just clipped off at the back, and these two just held on by clips, but for some reason under these 2 arms there is a screw. So that's given me access now to the base here, and let's see if I can get in deeper to the back of this jack here and see what's going on with the pins. Right, I've managed to get the little board out here that's got the connectors on it. Now, interestingly, the actual input cable as well as the output, that has only got 6 on it, even though it's a 7-pin cable at the other end. So there's definitely one of these that's not in use. And as for this output here, with the 7 pins that you can see here, looking at the traces, there are 2 here, this one and this one, with the solder blobs that look like no connects to me, unless this whole thing's a ground plane, but that's not going anywhere. So see, I would say that this one and this one might be the grounds, with these weird little pads on here, and then you've got this one is maybe your power pin, and I'm not sure. I think what I'm going to do is just tap these out to these pins with the multimeter and see, just to make sure. So I'll just get the multimeter in continuity. Let's have a go. Let's go with this one first. Yeah, doesn't seem to come up anywhere on that one. So let's try this one. Okay, that one comes up on that pin there. This is the pin that's in question that's caused a bit of problem. Let's try this next one. Yeah, it doesn't come up on there. Right, that goes to center pin. And this one that looks like a no connect doesn't come up anywhere by the looks of it. This one, oh, that was this one, yeah. So we're good. That comes up on there. And then this one comes up on there. So yeah, I think possibly this one's not in use, but definitely this one hasn't got anything on there. So if I remove this pin, I don't think it should cause me any problem. Now, how do I remove that pin? Soldered on the back here, but I think that will remove the whole connector, and then it's a case of whether I can get it out the back of the connector. I'm thinking it might be a bit brutal, but just to bend it off see if I can snap that pin off with some long nose pliers. Let's just be sure it's definitely that pin. Yeah, so yeah, that's definitely the one. Okay, let's go for it. Just don't want to damage the other pins. It's pretty tight in there. Oh, I think we've got some movement on it. Right, let's do this off camera. Right, I had to get a bit brutal with that, and unfortunately, it snapped off the pin halfway. Didn't snap it clean up the front. I'm going to see if I can keep working at this and get the bottom bit out, otherwise it's not going to push down fully. Excellent, I've managed to get it cut off, so it's pretty flush at the bottom now, and I've just tested it, and that goes fully home. So fingers crossed this is going to sort the issue out for me. Now I'm going to reassemble this and we'll connect it up and see if it's recognised and working. Okay, everything's put back together now, and see, we've got the pin gone there. It's a moment of truth. I should be able to connect this now, and let's see if it's going to work. Post your vote now. Switch on the station. Boom. T115. It's detected it, so that's worked. We just plug the other one in. Oh. Yeah, so I've got both now. The T245 and the T115, both being detected. Okay, so pick up the iron, and yet temperature's ramping up. Must be set to 350. Let's give it another try. Just a bit of solder. Try and get in the camera. Yeah, it's working fine. Let's dock it in there. It's beeped, and temperature's going down. So yeah, very happy with that. I can stick this back in here now. Ooh. So this handle doesn't stay in as well as the other one. I seen in the pictures that it does hang up. I think that's probably what it's designed for. I mean, it does work, but you've kind of got to force it in a little bit. But yeah, I'm happy now that that's working. I'm interested to know as well, what would you have done in that case? Would you have done the same thing and bent that pin? But yeah, now I can get back to the video now and have a look at some more of this soldering iron. Now I think I'm going to have a look at the cable management now, because obviously once you've got these in, the cable's going to get in the way, and you've got these style arms. They are a left and a right arm because they're keyed on one side, and they will attach with a couple of thumb screws. So I'll just get these attached and then see how that goes with the cables in there, if that's any better. set up now with these two stands attached to the side, and quite like these actually. The wires are attached to the top, and you can pull through however much you need. And one good thing is as you're using it, it's keeping it out of the way, but if you pull it too much, it's got a bit of a spring loading on there, so it's not going to pull your station over. You're going to feel the resistance on there. Now, looking at these two stands, let me just bring you in, show you this side. This small pen, when you go to put that in the holder, you've got to really put it in. Otherwise, if you just put it like that, it falls out, which isn't ideal. But the difference is with this T115 handle, it has the metal piece on there, so it's designed to hang on there. That's also magnetic as well, and it stops it when you hang it up. So that does fit on quite nice and secure there. But it would be nice to be able to use this as well without having to worry about it falling out. So I'm thinking what I might do now is modify this and see if I can take this apart and turn it the other way around, because if the hole is on the bottom, then I think it's just going to stop it from going up. So I might have a look at doing that now. And also the hanger doesn't work with this size iron. It's kind of no point in it. So I'm thinking for this side, if anything, it's just going to get in the way, and probably the wire will get caught on it. So I might just chop that off and have that one as a stand on its own without this holder on it, because the holder is only going to be needed on this side with the small handle. So I can have that as its primary way to store it, and rotate this and have that as an option as well. So let's see if those two things are possible. Get rid of this and try and rotate this around. Right, as you can see, I've got the whole thing in parts now. I was looking to see if I could rotate this one here, but that's not possible. If you look, it's different on both sides. So this one's just got a little screw that screws into a threaded bit here. This one's got a notch in here that it sits on. So it can't be easily rotated around. So I think what I'm going to do now is swap them, because the left and right are different. That one's got it on the inside there, and this is on the inside that way. And I think the other handle will still work well. This one, if this bit isn't on here, I mean, it is easier to get it in like that, and it's secure, but I think it would still be fine if you were putting the handle in and this bit was on the top. So I'm going to work on that now, take this one apart now and get these two swapped over. Pleased to say I've finished with these mods now, and I'm quite happy with that. I took the arm off there and sanded it down so it's nice and smooth, and that cable just hangs on there now. And so there was no need for that because it couldn't dock with the big hand anyway, so to me that was pointless. It's just something extra to get in the way. And this one has been reversed, and for the big handle still works perfectly fine. It just means as you bring the soldering iron down, you can't put it in and then drop it down. You've just got to put it directly in the hole, which is no issue for me at all. But more importantly, this one, which was the problem, now can go in the hole, and once it's in there, it's not going to fall out. Whereas before it was like falling down the gap when it was on the top. It was a little bit of work just to change them over, but if you want to do something similar, it's not too much hassle. But as I say, you can't just rotate it. You have got to swap it with that one. And so I'll probably use that anyway because it works quite well for the small handle. But it's just nice to have that option as well to be able to use it in there. I was going to just quickly show these quick releases now. So you just pull it in there and you can pull that out. And then if you've got one of these ones that are cold, you can just have it slotted into there. yeah, it kind of works. Just one more little mod here. I just wetted that sponge up to put it in there, and it was sitting still quite low in there, so I've just added an extra little bit from a dishcloth in there to help raise it up. So now when I've got that in there, it will sit higher up. Just be a bit easier to use rather than trying to dig down into there. Yeah, quite happy with that. Just looking at the unit itself now, and I'm just going to go very quickly through a few of these features on here. This video is already going on a long time, and there's probably other people on YouTube that have done more detailed ones. So on this main home screen here, you've got both soldering irons, the T245 on this side and the 115 there, and you can just press the arrow and it highlights which one that you want to go, and you can simply go up and down on the temperature. That's 450, and you can also do 450 is the maximum. You can also switch between channels. There you go, 280, 350, 450. And say for example, if I didn't want it 450, I could knock it down to 400 and just hold channel 3, and it saved it at 400. And you can have independent channels from both irons. They're both in standby at the moment. If I was to pick up that handle, immediately starts heating up, and you can see how quick it heats up. Really quick. It overshoots it a little bit and then drops it down to the 400 there. So that's perfect. I've put that in the dock, and the temperature's going down. Let's have a look what else we've got. If you want to go into the main menu where you've got the rest of the settings, hold down this and you can just go through standby, system, temperature, etc. Let's have a look in system. Just your basic things, language, sounds. You got theme there. Let's have a look at that. Oh, dark mode. Oh yeah, we like that. Experimental features. Security. Holder test. I wonder what that is. 2-click turned off and swap socket. Recognizes the double click holder. And swap socket turned off. I'm guessing that can rotate them around on the back. And I'm not sure what this 2-click feature is, but I'm not going to play with it now. Just looking back on here, you can go in temperature, change the units. You can change all the channels on here manually, but I think it's easy just to do it off the main menu. And you've also got the compensate option. So if I ever get a one of those things to measure the solder iron tips, then I can, if it's overshooting, I could probably go minus or plus to compensate. But I don't have anything to measure it at the moment. But yeah, it's quite simple really. What's a standby? So you can have a standby temperature delay, put it to sleep after 15 minutes. Might change it to 10 minutes, and it's on. Yeah, so if I forget to switch this off, it's going to go to sleep after 10 minutes. That temperature's still going down. Let's just pull up the 115. Yeah, and that's shooting up. 450. And it's smoking at the end. It's working. Dock it in. And it's going down. I quite like the dark display. Those the green pops out sitting back here. You can see that quite easily. So I'll probably leave it on that. Soldering yet with these irons, but I have seen other people using similar models like this, and the performance is comparable to more expensive irons. So I'm hoping they'll be good. But I'm either going to get some scrap boards to practice on, or if you know, please share any links for maybe like little project boards that I can use with some micro soldering SMD components, maybe some bigger through-hole components, and something that I can use hot air station with as well. Be nice to have a little project, because before doing any repairs, I would like to just build up some skills, never used any of this before. So yeah, please, if you've got any links, share them in this comments. Yeah, I'll be on the next video. We might be looking at the thermal camera next time I've got. Thanks for all the subscribers as well, and if you enjoy this video, give it a like. That'd help as well. Thank you.